Now we'll go through an example and your homework for this section. Here we have the previously simplified cash flow diagram. In short, this right here tells me where my money is going each month. After you have discovered where your money is going, you can take the next step and set budgets. You can also discuss what can be trimmed if necessary. So you can discover your monthly survival minimums, meaning the very things you need to pay for in order to survive, in order to eat, and in order to keep a roof over your head. For example, if you were to lose your job and you had to go on survival mode, what kind of spendings would go away? Perhaps movie night, fancy clothing, perhaps adding money to savings, or additional house payments. Remember, this is survival mode. This doesn't mean you'll be happy, but it means you won't go hungry or homeless. Now you'll notice that on the two tables here, the debts such as mortgage and the bills such as HOA costs, insurance, and utilities don't change. These are required regardless of whether or not you're making money. And in this required category, you can also include things like car payments, credit card debt, hospital bills, just loans. These are the debts that must be paid, and as such, these increase your monthly survival minimum. The things that do change is the cost of living and the money that goes into savings, vacations, etc. These are the things in which you have flexibility. Perhaps when employed, you are enjoying a $50 steak every other night. But if needed, you can bring that down to having a $5 sandwich instead. Perhaps when you were employed, you were saving up for a $10,000 trip to Hawaii. But if needed, you can still spend quality time with your family on a $1,000 trip to a nearby national park. The $3,012 found on the second table is our monthly survival minimum. And that number was derived by eliminating the buffer, the extra, such as savings and vacations, and also reducing the cost of living, mainly food and house items, from $1,520 to $900 a month. Now this was done by studying our unique family finances and making that decision as a family. That way we are all on the same page should this survival mode ever become a necessity. So that's the difference between the required expenses, what you see here in red, and the flexible expenses, what you see here in green. Now about the difference between your income and your required spending. That difference, that gap, that's where your freedom lies. It is the difference between your current income and your survival minimum. And in this example shown here, that difference is $1,775.11. Now here's the main takeaway of this lesson. The smaller this difference is, the more financial pressure you will feel. And the larger this difference is, the better off you'll be, because the more financial freedom you will enjoy. Now it's time for your homework. First, figure out exactly where your money is going. I highly suggest creating a cash flow diagram, and just one of your choosing. And remember, this must be actuals, not guesses. Second, figure out your survival minimum. These are the hard requirements that you must pay each month. Pay close attention to all debts. And I suggest having a family meeting where you discuss what survival mode looks like and what survival minimum means when it comes to money. Please remember, this isn't what you need to be happy. This is what you need to prevent your family from going hungry or homeless. Third, figure out the size of the difference between your income each month and your survival minimum. Now, regardless of the size of the difference that you currently have, keep in mind that this is just the beginning. You are figuring out your current state. This is where you are. Next, we'll begin to work towards increasing the size of that gap, the size of that difference, and working towards giving you and your family more freedom.